Good morning. We reported previously that Western airlines are not allowed to overfly Russia. That makes many of the routes for Europe and Asia much longer for airlines in the US and Europe. That puts our own airlines at a competitive disadvantage against Chinese carriers, among others. And these maps explain that problem. The flights just take longer, which means more fuel, more crew time, and more expense for passengers. Russia is just enormous, and the same kind of geopolitics and economics that we're seeing in commercial aviation since the Ukraine war began is kicking off in commercial shipping. Countries most friendly to Russia are opening up Arctic Ocean sea routes and cutting thousands of miles and millions of dollars off their transit times and costs. China and Russia are working closely together on a project called the Ice Silk Road, or a northern sea route. This is from a Chinese wire, and the link is below, and you can translate it for yourself on a Chrome browser. It includes details of the meetings between Russia and China to get these passages open to Chinese maritime traffic. They note here that the Malacca Strait is a key choke point for global shipping, and if the US Navy were to block that strait, it would be tantamount to an economic embargo against China. It would pose a lot of problems for outbound commercial shipping and also for China's energy imports. The northern route serves as another way out and in. This top-down map shows Chinese commercial and mining activity in the Arctic and how the Polar Silk Road brings it all closer together. There are deep advantages to both China and Russia as this develops. Over a decade ago, in 2013, a commercial ship went from Dalian to Rotterdam, and the trip took 33 days, a third less than going around. Besides the time savings, the northern route avoids the hazards of going through the Suez, such as the risk of terrorism or piracy. The Arctic Ocean is bounded by just a handful of countries: Canada, the United States, and Russia primarily. And in terms of length, Russia is most of it. It's obvious that the shipping route offers deep advantages to commercial shippers, but mostly for Chinese and Russian ones. Western ship operators are aware of these also, but ironically for them, the Ice Silk Road is more risky. Russia controls that route, and after Western countries seized billions of dollars worth of Russian foreign currency reserves, shipping companies don't want the risk of having their multi-million-dollar ships at the mercy of Russian icebreakers or Russian banking regulators. So no matter what good things are happening for Chinese shippers, the others are staying away. And that is a huge advantage, again, to Chinese companies who are using it. This analyst with the Australian Strategic Policy Institute says that it's a new economic corridor. It's a game changer. Now it's 2025, and the crews have learned a lot since their first trip back in 2013. The voyage now takes half the time as it does to go around. So they're gaining a lot of expertise in how to conduct shipping operations in the Arctic. If it can be done safely, it can also be done economically. And China and Russia believe they're solving both at the same time. Rosatom is the Russian state nuclear energy company, and they forecast a 50% rise in transits this year. Moscow says that the route is safer because it goes around the EU entirely. Last year, 38 million tons were shipped, and as of this year, Russia has received navigation permit applications for 196 sailings, including from ship operators in Azerbaijan. There's a 5-month window from 1 July through the end of November. In September, the trip was made in just 18 days by a Chinese shipping company going from Ningbo to England. That's faster than the railroad at 25 days, the Suez at 40, and 50 days for sailing around Africa. European companies using Chinese ships to deliver Chinese-built products going through the northern route will see lower costs on shipping and a reduction in their inventory costs. Those are some obvious benefits to Chinese commercial shippers and their customers in Europe. But the geostrategic elements are much more important. The Arctic region contains vast amounts of natural resources, including metals and energy. The countries that develop the expertise the fastest, the mapping, the navigation, the icebreaking, the logistics in and out, the extraction, they will enjoy advantages that endure for decades, for centuries. And Western companies aren't interested. This is Yardang Landform in Gansu. Be good.
Pray for those who hurt you. Love your enemies. Do unto others as you want others to do for you. Store up for yourself treasure in heaven. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. No man can serve two masters. You cannot serve God and money.